offense is rank. It smells to heaven. It hath the primal eldest curse upon it. A brother's murder. Pray can I not, though inclination be sharp as will, my stronger guilt defeats my strong intent. Like a man to double business bound, stand and pause, for I shall first begin, and both neglect. What if this cursed hand, thicker than itself, brother's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash in white as snow? Whereto serves mercy, but to pardon the visage of offense? And what's prayer but this twofold force, to be forestalled ere we come to fall, or pardoned being down? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. Oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgiven my foul murder? That cannot be, since I'm still possessed of the effects for which I did the murder. My crown, my own ambition, my pity. May one be pardoned and still retain the offense? In the corrupted currents of this world, offense's gilded hand may shove by justice. And oft 'tis seen the wicked prize itself buys out the law. 'Tis not so above. There is no shuffling. Ere the action lies in his true nature, and we ourselves compelled even to the teeth and forehead of our faults to give in evidence. What then? What rests? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? O wretched state! O bosom black as death! O live and soul that struggling to be free are more engaged. The hell angels make essay, battered stubborn knees, and with heartstrings of steel, be as soft as the sinews of the newborn babe. All may be well.
Now am I going to repent. Now he is praying. And now I'll do it. So he goes to heaven. And so am I revenged? I would be scant. The villain kills my father, and for that I, his sole son, do the same villain send to heaven? Why, this is higher in salary, not revenge. He took my father grossly, full of bread, with all his crimes broad blown, his flushes made, and how his on it stands who knows save heaven. But in our circumstance, and course of thought, 'tis heavy with him. And am I then revenged? To take him in the purging of his soul, when he is fit and seasoned for passage? No! Up, sword. And know thou a more horrid end. When he is drunk, asleep, or in his rage, or in the incestuous pleasures of his bed, at gaming, swearing, or about some act that has no relish of salvation in it, then trip him, that his heels may kick at heaven, and his soul may be as damned and black as hell. Whereto it goes. My mother says, this physic but prolongs thy sickly days.
words fly up. My thoughts remain below. Words without thoughts, never to heaven go.
He will come straight. Look you lay home to him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with, and that your grace hath screamed and stood between much heat and him. I'll sconce me here. Pray you be round with him.
Mother! Mother!
I'll warrant you.
Mother!
Fear me not. Withdraw. I hear him coming.
No, Mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hath thy father much offended.
Mother, you have my father much offended.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, you question with a wicked tongue.
Have you forgot me?
No, Mother, rude, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife. And what it were not so, you are my mother.
Nay, then I'll set those two that can speak.
Come, sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not, till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Will they not murder me? Help! What help?
Oh, now a rat, dead for a decade.
Oh, I am slain! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the cane?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed. Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king!
Aye, lady, 'twas my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool. Farewell. I took thee for thy battle. Take thy fortune. Thou findest to be too busy is some danger. Leave, wringing of your hands, peace. Sit you down, and let it wring your heart, for so I shall be made of penetrable stuff.
What have I done that thou darest wag thy tongue knowest so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the grace and blush of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dicers' oaths. Such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul. Sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face doth glow, yea, the solidity and compound mass with tristful visage, as against the dupe, is thought sick at the act.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
Look you upon this picture, and on this, see a counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself, with an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the hailed Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill. A combination and a form indeed, where every god had seemed to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband. And look you now, what follows? Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you not on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? For you cannot call it love. For at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame. It's humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgments would step from this to this? Oh, shame.
Oh, Hamlet, thou turnst mine eyes into my very soul, and there is such black and great spots as will not leave their taint.
Nay, but to live in the rank sweat of an unseen bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love of the nasty sty.
Speak to me no more! These words like daggers entering in my ears no more, sweet Hamlet!
The murderer! And a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the tithe of your president lord, a vice, a king's, a cutpurse of the empire and the rule, that from the shelf the precious diadem stole and put in his pocket. No more! A king of shreds and patches! Save me! And hover over me with your wings. Heavenly gods, what would your gracious think?
Alas, he's mad!
Do you not come, your tardy son to chide, that lapsed in time and passion? Let's go by the important acting of your dread command. Oh, say!
Do not forget, this visitation is but to whet thy almost blunted purpose. Watch look, amazement on thy mother sits. Oh, step between her and her fighting soul. Conceit, in weakest body, strongest works. Speak to her, Hamlet!
How is it with you, lady?
Alas, how is with you? Did you bend your eye on vacancy and with the incorporeal air do hold discourse? Oh, gentle son, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him! On him! Look you, how pale he glares! His form and cause conjoin, preaching the stones will make them capable. Do not look upon me. Unless for this piteous action you convert my stern effects, then what I have to do will want true color, tears perchance for blood.
To whom do you speak this?
Do you see nothing there?
No, nothing, yet all that is I see.
No, do you nothing hear?
No, nothing but ourselves.
Look you, where he goes! My father in his habit as he lived! Look you, where even now out of the portal!
Oh, Hamlet, this is the very coinage of your brain. This body, this ecstasy is very cunning in.
Ecstasy! My pulse, as yours, doth temperately keep time, and makes his healthful music. It is not madness that I have uttered. Bring me to the text, and I the matter will be word which madness would gamble from. Father, for love of grace, lay not that mattering unction to your soul. Let not your trespass, but my madness speaks. It will but film and skin the ulcerous place, whilst rank corruption, mining on within, infects unseen. Confess yourself to heaven, repent what's past, avoid what is to come, and do not spread compost on the weeds to make them ranker.
Oh, Hamlet, thou cleft my heart in twain.
Throw away the worst part of it, and let the pure with the other half. Once more, good night. And when you are desirous to be blessed, I'll blessing beg of you. For the same lady, I do repent. For heaven hath pleased it so, to punish me with this, and this with me, that I must be their scourge and minister. I will bestow her, and will answer well the death I gave her. One more word, good lady.
What shall I do?
By no means, I bid you, do not let the beloved king tempt you again to bed, pinch wanton on your cheek, claim his mouse for a pair of reachy kisses, or paddling in your neck with his damned fingers. To make you revel all this matter out, that I am essentially not in madness. but mad in craft. So good you let him know. For who's but a queen, fair, sober, wise, would from a paddock, from a bat, give such dear concerning sign, who would do so? Nay, in despite of sense and secrecy, unpeg the basket on the house's top. Let the birds fly, and like the famous say, to try conclusions, and in the basket creep, to break your own neck down.
If words be made of breath of life, I have no life to breathe what thou hast said to me.
Indeed, this counselor is now most still, most silent, and most grave. Who was a life of foolish, prating knave. Come, lady, draw an end with you. Good night, mother.
How now? What hath fallen?
Where the dead body was thrown, my lord. We can't look after him.
Where is he?
Without my lord, guarded to know your pleasure.
Bring him before us.
Ho! Kill him, sir! Bring in my lord.
Now, Hamlet, where's Polonius?
At supper,
At supper. Where?
not where she eats, but where she is eaten. A certain convocation of politic worms are eaten at her. Your fat worm is your only emperor for diet. We fat old creatures else to fat us, and we fat ourselves for maggots. Your fat king and lean beggars of but variable service. 2 dishes, but to 1 table. That's the end.
Alas, alas.
A man may fish with the worm and hath eat of a king, and eat of the fish that hath fed of that worm.
What dost you mean by this?
Nothing, but to show you how a king may go a progress through the guts of a beggar.
Where's Polonius?
In heaven, sent hither to see. If the messenger find her not there, seek her in the other place yourself. And if you shall not find her within this month, you shall nose her about as you go upstairs into the lobby.
Go seek her there.
She will stay till you come.
Hamlet. This deed, for thine especial safety, which we do tender, we dearly grieve for that which thou hast done. Thou send me forth, fiery quickness. Therefore prepare thyself. The wind is ready, the bark at hand, the associates den, and everything is bent.
Greencliff.
Aye, Hamlet.
Good.
So is it if thou knewest our purposes.
I see a cherub that sees them. But come, for England. Farewell, dear mother.
Thy loving father, Hamlet.
My mother. Father and mother is man and wife. Man and wife is one flesh, and so my mother. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil. You must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time? The oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make with a bare bodkin. Who would fardels bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country from whose bourne no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have and fly to others that we know not of. Thus, conscience does make cowards of us all. And thus the native hue of resolution is sickly over with a pale cast of thought. And enterprises of great pith and moment, with this regard, the currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Will please you go, my lord?
I'll be with you straight, so go a little before. Come for England. From this time forth, my thoughts be bloody, or be nothing worth.
Not what we may be. Come be at your table. Pray you, let's have no more words of this. But when they ask you what it means, say you this. By grace and by Saint Charity, alack and fie for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By cock, they are to blame. Quoth she before you doubled me. Promised me to wed. She said, what I have done by yonder sun, and now hast thou come to my bed. I hope all will be well. We must be patient. So I thank you for your good counsel. Have my couch. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night, sweet ladies. Good night. Good night.
Gertrude, when sorrows come, they come not single spies, but in battalions. First, her mother slain. Next, your son gone, and he most violent author of good Polonius' death. And poor Ophelia, divided from herself, from fair judgment. And last, as containing as all these, her brother is in secret returned from France. He feeds on his wonder and keeps himself in clouds and wants on buzzards to infect his ear with pestilent speeches of his mother's death. This, my dear Gertrude, like a murdering piece in many places, gives me superfluous death.
Let me pass! Let me pass! Oh, thou vile king! Give me my mother!
Holy clarity!
Where is my mother?
Dead!
But not by him!
Let him demand his fill.
How came she dead? I'll not be juggled with. To hell allegiance. vows to the blackest devil, conscience and grace to the profoundest pit. I dare damnation. To this point I stand, that both the worlds I give to negligence. Let come what comes. Only I'll be revenged most thoroughly for my mother.
Who shall stay you?
None but her enemies.
Why, how do you speak like a good son and a true gentleman? But I am guiltless in your mother's death, and a most sensible and grieful. Shall as level to your judgment pierce as day does to your eye. Good Laertes, he which hath your noble mother slain, pursued my life.
Ophelia, kind sister.
And will he not come again? And will he not come again? I cannot choose but wait! To think they would lay her in the cold ground. My brother should know it! They bore him barefaced on the bier, hey nonny, 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 no. And in his grave rained many a tear. Fare ye well, my dove. There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray you all remember. Here's pansies for thoughts, and fennel and columbines. Here's rue for you. Here's some for me. Oh, you must wear your rue with a difference. Here are some daisies. I would give you some violets, but they withered all when my mother died. They say she made a good end. And will he not come again? And will he not come again? No, no, he is dead. Go to thy deathbed. He never will come again. His beard was as white as snow. All flaxen was his bowl. He's gone, and we cast away down. God have mercy on his soul. And of all Christian souls, I pray God, God be with ye.
Oh, heat, dry out my brain. Tears 7 times salt burn out the sense and virtue of mine eye. By heaven, thy madness shall be paid by weight till our scale turn the beam. Oh, Rose and May, dear maid, kind sister, sweet Ophelia. Heavens, is it possible a young maid's wit should be as moral as an old man's life? Adieu, my lord. I have speech at file that would fail and blaze, but that this folly doubts it.
How now, what news?
Letters, my lord, from Hamlet.
From Hamlet, who brought them?
Sailors, my lord.
Leave me. High and mighty, you shall know I am set naked on your kingdom. Tomorrow shall I beg leave to see your kingly eyes, when I shall, first asking your pardon thereunto, recount the occasion of my sudden and more strange return. Hamlet. Naked. And in the postscript here he says, alone.
One more heal. So fast they follow. Your sister's drowned, Laertes.
Drowned? Oh, where?
There is a willow grows a slanted brook that shows its whole leaves in the glassy stream. There, with fantastic garlands did she come, crowflowers, nettles, daisies, and long purples that poor shepherds give a grosser name, and on cold maids do dead men's fingers call them. There on the pendant bows are corn of weeds, clambering to hang and slither broke, when down her witty trophies and herself fell in the weedy brook. Her clothes spread wide and mermaid like, and while they bore her up, which time she chanted snatches of old tunes as one incapable of her own distress, or like a creature native and endued unto that element. But long it could not be, till that her garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch from melodious lay to muddy death.
Alas, then she is drowned.
Drowned. Drowned. That built stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter? Oh, cudgel thy brains no more about it, or your dull ass will not mend its pace with beating. And when you are asked this question next, say a grave maker. The houses that he makes last till doomsday. Oh, go get thee to Yug and fetch me a stoop of liquor. In youth when I did love, thought it was very sweet to contract over time for I might be home.
Has this fellow no feeling of his business that he sings at grave making?
Custom hath made in him a property of easiness.
To see it so, the hand of little employment hath a daintier sense.
But age with its stealing steps hath clawed me in its clutch, and shipped me until the land as if I'd never been such.
Whose grave's this, sirrah?
Mine, sir. Oh, what bit of play for to be made for such a guest as meet.
I think it be thine indeed, for thou liest in it. What man dost thou dig it for?
Ah, no man, sir.
What woman, then?
None neither.
Who is to be buried in it?
One that was a woman, sir, but rest her soul. She's dead.
How absolute the knave is. We must speak by Carter, equivocation will undo us. How long hast thou been a grave maker?
Of all the days of the year, I came to it that day that our last King Hamlet overcame Fortinbras, King of Norway.
How long is that since?
Cannot you tell that? Every fool can tell that. It's the very day that young Hamlet was born. He that is mad, sent into England.
Aye, Mary, why was he sent into England?
Why, because he was mad. He shall recover his wits there. Or if he do not, it's no great matter there.
Why?
Will not be seen in him there. There the men are as mad as he.
How came he mad?
Very strangely, they say.
How strangely?
They, in with losing his wits.
Upon what ground?
Why, here in Denmark, of course.
No.
I've been sexton here, man and boy, 30 years.
How long may a man lie in the earth ere he rot?
If he be not rotten before he die, we have many pocky courses nowadays, will scarce hold the lane in. It'll last you some 8 year, 9 year. A tanner will last you 9 year.
Why he more than another?
Oh, why, sir, his hide is so tanned with his trade that he will keep out water a great while. And your water is a sore decay of your horse and dead body. Ah, here is a skull. Now, this skull hath lain in the earth 23 years.
Whose was it?
Horse and mad fellows it was. Whose do you think it was?
Nay, I know not.
This same skull was Yorick's skull, the king's jester.
This?
Ain't that?
Let me see. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now, how a bored in my imagination it is. My gourd brims at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how oft. Where be your jibes now? Your gabbles, your songs, your flashes of merriment thou once set the table on a roar? Not one now to mock your own grinning? Quite chopfallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber, and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this favor she must come. Make her laugh at that. Prithee, Horatio, tell me one thing.
What is it, my lord?
Dost thou think Alexander looked on this fashion in the earth?
Even so, my lord.
And smelt, sir.
Even so, my lord.
Soft, soft. Here comes the king.
Layer the earth, from her fair and unpolluted flesh, may violets spring. I tell thee, churlish priest, ministering angel shall my sister be, when thou liest howling.
What? The fair Ophelia!
Sweets to the sweet farewell. I hope thou shouldst have been my Hamlet's wife. I thought thy bride meant to have decks remade, and not have strewed thy grave.
Treble woe, fallen 10 times treble on thy cursed head, whose wicked deed thy most ingenious sense deprived thee of. Hold off the earth a while, till I cover once more in thine arms. Now pile your dust upon the quick and dead, till of this flat a mountain you have made, toward old Pelion, the skyish head of blue Olympus.
What is he whose grief bears such an emphasis, whose phrase of sorrow conjures the wandering stars, making them stand like wander-wounded hearers? This is I, Hamlet the Dane.
The devil take thy soul!
Speak so well, fingers from my throat. Though I'm not splendid, if it raps up something to be dangerous, which let not my wife's fear.
Ah!
Welcome asunder! Ophelia! 40,000 brothers with all their quantity of love could not make up my sum.
Oh, he is mad,
The
Laertes!
love of God prepare him.
Souls, show me what thou do. Wilt weep? Wilt fight? Wilt fast? Wilt tear thyself? Drink up Isol? Eat a crocodile? I'll do it. Dost thou come here to whine? Drop face me with leaping in her grave? Be very quick with her, and so will I. And if thou prate of mountains, let them throw millions of acres on us, till our ground, singeing his pate against the burning zone, make Ossa like a wart. Nay, And thou art mouth. I'll rent as well as thou.
This is mere madness, and thus of all the fits will work on him.
I pray you, good Horatio, wait upon him.
It is no matter. Let Hercules himself do what he may. The cat will mew and the dog will have his day. I have words to speak in thine ear. Rosencrantz and Guildenstern hold their course to England. Of them I have much to tell thee. There's a certain divinity that shapes our ends. Rough hew them how we will.
That is most certain, my lord.
Sir, in my heart there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Up from my cabin, my sea gown scarfed about me. In the dark, groped I to find out them. Fingered their packet, making so bold my fears, forgetting manners. Where I found Horatio. Oh, royal Avery! An exact command. No, I'm not unsupervised. No, leisure baby. No, not sustaining. Grinding of the axe. My head should be struck off.
My lord, is it possible?
Here's the commission. Read at more leisure. Being thus benetted round with villainies, I sat me down, devised a new commission, wrote it fair, an earnest conjuration from the king, as England was his faithful tributary, that on the view and knowing of these contents, without debatement further, more or less, he should the bearers put to sudden death, not striving time elapsed.
How is the sealed?
I had my father's signet in my purse, which was the model of that Danish seal. Folded the writ up in the form of the other, subscribed it, gave it the impression, placed it safely. The changeling never known. Now the next day was our sea flight, and what to this was sequent thou knowest already.
What a king is this?
Is it not perfect conscience to quit him with his own arm? And is it not to be damned to let this canker of our nature come and further evil?
It must be surely known to him from England what is the matter of business here.
It will be short. The interim is mine, and a man's life no more than to say one.
Hamlet comes back. What would you undertake to show yourself your mother's son in deed more than in words?
Cut a sword in the church.
Revenge should have no bounds. But will you do this, good ladies? Keep close within your chamber. And the return will praise your excellency, bring you in close together and wager on your heads. He, being remiss, you may choose a sword unbated, and in a passive practice, requite. Well,
I will do it. For that purpose, I'll anoint my sword. I thought I should mount me. So mortal that I know him slightly. Maybe.
when in your actions you're hot and dry, keep your bouts more violent to that end. And he calls for drink. I'll have prepared a chalice for the nonce. or on Pacific, if he escaped your venom stock, our purpose may hold there.
The king, sir, had played that in a dozen passes between yourself and Laertes. He shall not exceed you 3 hits. He hath played on 12 for 9, and it would come to immediate trial if your lordship would vouchsafe the answer.
Sir, it's just the breathing time of day with me. Let the foils be brought.
You will lose this wager, my lord.
I do not think so. I shall win at the odds. But thou wouldst not think how ill all's here about my heart, but it is no matter.
Nay, good, my lord.
It is but foolery. Such kind of gain-giving as would perhaps trouble a woman.
If your mind dislike anything, obey it. I will forestall their repair hither, and say are not fit.
Not a whit. You defy augury? There's a special providence in the fall of a sparrow. If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be now, yet it will come. The readiness is all. And since no man has aught of what he leaves, what is it to leave betimes? Let be.
Come. Come, Hamlet, come. Take this head. Me.
Give me your pardon, sir. I've done you wrong. But pardon it, as you are a gentleman. This presence knows and needs you must have heard how I am punished with sore distraction. And what I have done that might your nature, honor, and exception roughly awake, I here proclaim, was madness. Was it Hamlet from Laertes? Never Hamlet. If Hamlet from himself be taken away when he's not himself does wrong Laertes, then Hamlet does it not. Hamlet denies it. Who does it then? Is madness, if it be so? Hamlet is of the faction that is wronged. His madness is for Hamlet's enemy. Sir, in this audience, let my disclaiming from a more purposed evil free me in your most generous thoughts. That I have shot my arrow over that house and hurt my brother.
I am satisfied in nature, whose motive in this case should stir me most to my revenge. But, in my terms of honor, I stand aloof, and will no reconcilement.
Give us the foils. Come on.
Come. One for me.
I'll be your foil, Laertes. In mine ignorance, your skill shall, like a star in the darkest night, stick fiery off indeed.
Ah, you mock me, sir.
No, by this hand.
Hamlet, do you know the wager?
Very well, my lord, your grace hath laid the odds on the weaker side.
I fear it not. I've seen you both.
One.
No.
Judgment.
A hit, a very palpable hit.
Well, again.
Stay! Stay. Give me a drink. Hamlet, this pearl is thine. Here's to thy health. Give him the cup.
Set it by a while, I'll play this out first. Come. Another hit. What say you?
A touch, I confess.
son shall win.
The queen caresses to thy fortune, Hamlet.
Good Madam Gertrude, do not drink.
I will, my lord. I pray thee. Pardon me.
This poison cup is too deep.
I dare not drink yet, madam. By and by.
Come, come. Let me wipe thy face.
My lord, I'll beat him now.
Do not think. Come for a third, Laertes, you but dally. Pass with your best violence. I'm afraid you make a wanton of me.
Say you so. Come on! And I do now! Hamlet! Thou art slain! No medicine in the world can do thee good. And neither is that half an hour of life. The treacherous instruments in thy hand, and baited and envenomed. The foul practice hath turned itself on me. Why, as a woodcock of mine own springe, I am justly killed with mine own treachery, never to rise again. My mother's poisoned. I can no more. The king's to blame.
Oh, Hamlet! Oh, my dear Hamlet! Oh, my dear Hamlet! The drink! The drink! They're poisoned!
Thou murderess, adulteress, damned Dane. Follow my mother.
He's justly served. Exchange forgiveness with me, noble Hamlet. And mine and my mother's death come not upon thee, nor thine on me.
I'm dead, Horatio. Wretched queen, and you that look pale and tremble at this chance that are but mutes, our audience to this act. Had I but time, as this fell sergeant, death. Oh, that I could tell thee. But let it be. No! I'm dead, Horatio. Thou livest. Report me and my cause aright to the unsatisfied.
Never believe it. I am more an antique Roman than a Dane. There's yet some liquor left.
So, man, give me the cup. Let go. By heaven, I'll have it. Oh, good Horatio. What a wounded name. Things standing thus unknown shall live behind me. If thou didst ever hold me in thy heart, absent thee from felicity a while, in this harsh world, draw thy breath in pain to tell my story. The rest is silence.
thou cracks a noble heart. Good night, sweet prince. And flights of angels, sing thee to thy rest.